Hello YouTube and welcome to a different kind of video on the channel today. Today we're going to be wrapping up the Symphogear series with a few little tier lists and that kind of thing. Very excited to be here and give some final opinions / thoughts on the Symphogear series, all 5 seasons of which. So before we get into the rankings proper, as you can see I've got tier maker open here. I'm going to make some tiers. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So last video, I said that I was going to do the extras as well as respond to the comments on the last reaction video, right? Those links will be down in the description. And I guess I should say for people that don't normally watch these videos, I've reacted to the entire Symphogear series on the channel and am now ready to rank some things. So finished the last reaction last week, going to rank some things now. You can go back and watch all those videos if you want to see my raw thoughts on each of the episodes individually. There's quite a bit of content there, so please peruse at your leisure. Yeah, there'll be those 2 links in the descriptions for the fans, the people that have been around, that'll want to see that. But yeah, I just wanted to separate it from this video because I think it's a little bit off topic. But either way, I'm rambling. I should get into what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing about 4 tier lists today, I believe. That's going to be this one, which is the Symphogear character tier list. Look at all those Symphogear characters, everybody. Can't wait for that one. It's going to be a truncated transformation sequence ranking. Of course, I'm going to only really talk about the ones I really give a hoot about. I just wish these were all GIFs and I could watch them. That would make things very easy. Because yeah, I just struggle to remember the details of each and every one off the top of my head. I thought about doing an individual episode ranking, but I thought that may get a little bit complicated. So we're going to be doing a season ranking. And I'm going to talk about individual episodes there and what makes each season good and what makes it bad and that kind of thing, right? So yeah, that's where a lot of the overallness of the show will come out, I think. I'll probably do this one last. And there's a songs tier list. But I'm just letting you know, I'm not about it like this. I just am not. So I'm going to be doing this one instead, where I've moved some things. I've got all the openings and endings first. A couple of other songs that maybe I'll talk about in kind of isolation as really good. But yeah, probably not all of these is my major point there. I guess I'll start here with the transformation sequences. I guess I'll just give some overall thoughts. It's hard to rank them without them in front of me is the problem there. Potentially they're on the wiki. I might have a look quickly there. I've potentially found a Daily Motion video with all of them, so maybe I'll watch them in isolation and then let everybody know. It's all of them up to Axis. Oh, and I've got a pretty good idea of where the EXIV ones are. Okay, I'll use this. Okay, so the first one I've watched here is this one, which is Hibiki, I believe. It's the first Hibiki transformation sequence from Season 1. I would say it lacks finesse. And maybe I'll change these words a little bit too, just to reflect actual opinions and that kind of thing. There we go, that's a bit better. We've got terrible, it's 8. A, that's pretty good. Very cool. And triple S plus tier. I think that reflects things pretty well. And this one, I think I'm going to go right ahead and just do this. I mean, they're all right. I'm thinking that this is potentially Tsubasa's one from the same season, but we'll have to see. They're just very short. They're just the transformation sequence. I do like the frame where it's like diagonal and there's all the words passing and it has the name of their relic. I think that's pretty sweet. But other than that, we just have better transformation sequences through the show, I believe. Now we're back with our next Hibiki one. It's her transformation sequence from G. So, I've been reminded of the technical leap, I guess, between Season 1 and G, and Hibiki's is no shortage of that. There. Pretty fan servicey. You follow the body pretty closely there. I do like, again, the kind of headgear. I guess she's wearing headphones, kind of, you know, making itself known. I do like the focus explicitly on the scar on the chest as well, which is again specific Symphogear G thing. Yeah, hey, that's pretty good. I think it's a good sequence. If I haven't made this clear so far, I'll be delineating stuff via putting one thing before the other, which leads us on to the GX sequence for Hibiki. Very similar. We've got the structure will follow a little bit later as well, where kind of like the Symphogearness follows their limbs and kind of puts the stuff on, which I like. Again, an explicit fan service focus, I believe. I forgot how horny some of these get. But yeah, about similar, I would say, for the GX sequence for Hibiki. Now, this is another one where I'll do a lot of them at once. This will be Hibiki, and let me just see if I can grab all of the different Ignite mode uh, transformation sequences here, because again they're all basically very similar in my eyes in that they're very cool. It's just cool. I like them in concept, so I'll talk about Ignite mode in concept here, essentially facing your greatest fears, facing your trauma. Particular sequence in the middle of Symphogear GX, which I found pretty enthralling in that area from a storytelling perspective, kind of using that negative energy and perpetuating a new power. I think that's very, very cool. So you're going to have to imagine that that's Tsubasa Ignite mode, that would be Chris Ignite mode. You would think this one for Maria? We're going to say yeah. Probably all have this kind of logo here with the, almost looks like an eye in the back. You'd think here similar with Kirika and Shirabe. If I had to rank them, and you'll see this is a constant theme, stuff with Chris in it and stuff with Maria in it is going to be pretty high. Just a warning for everybody involved. Hibiki's sequence here for Axis. It's pretty cool. She punches the camera a lot, which I like. I like it when Hibiki punches things. That's a pretty good time. Following a similar, almost GX structure, similar thing following the body, kind of putting the gear onto the body. An explicit focus on arse, for sure, as is with most of these. And yeah, like, I mean, I'm not even sure I need to go back and look at this one. I mean, it's just incredible. The absolute budget of it all. It kind of like the wide shot following her like punching, moving into I guess a longer sequence as well, a more indulgent sequence, more budget. Just yeah, her Exiv stuff, fantastic. You're gonna see a lot of Exiv ones up here. They're very, very, very good. Next here we have Subasa's from G. Just thoroughly enjoyable. I just watched that then. I just watched it then. I like her sassy pose at the end. I like kind of the, I always equate it to Sailor Moon, like kind of closing her eyes, looking like, I guess, important as it happens to her instead of being conscious while it happens. That I really enjoy. Again, just following the body. Tsubasa looks cool. I thought that sequence was very, very cool. Got Tsubasa's sequence from GX here. I'm going to place it about here. Just watched it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. I like how she dabs in the beginning, just showing off some sword work. It's fine. Her pose at the end where she's like this, pretty good. But yeah, nothing to write home about, I don't think. Now this one here, very, very slick as well. Probably better than the one from the second season. Particular notable parts for the one of Tsubasa for Axis is the sword unsheathing moment, which I think is very, very epic and cool. Generally a focus on legs with Tsubasa that I enjoy as well, and there's kind of like, once the leg gets built, kind of pops out a little knife out of the leg, and she catches it, almost Mario style, which I like as well. If you were to put me in a vacuum and say, what is a two-word phrase to describe this, I would say very cool. I just had a quick look at, I believe this is Chris. Chris's Season 1 one, it's probably the best of the Season 1 ones if I had to pick them, just because she goes the other direction. So again, Hibiki's like, and Ko are going like that way, and Chris is going that way. I think that's cool. Like just, again, clashing of ideals there, almost visually, I think. Oh shit, I forgot to rank Tsubasa's from the latest season. Yeah. That's about right. Actually, no, better than Hibiki's. She probably has the best one of the last season, honestly. It's very, very good. The focus on the moon, the fire, the moment in the show that it's used as well. Could use work. The second time it's used is fucking awesome, though, in episode 9. Fantastic. But yeah, it's just obviously the best animated one. I don't know. It's really good. Either way, now the one I just watched as well, also like extremely good. Chris's from G. She says bang in it. That just makes it like a 10 out of 10. And she has her like red shoes, and we like Chris's red shoes very, very much. Her like Dorothy shoes. It's just fucking cool. I like Chris. This next season for Chris, which is the one from GX, it's basically the same. They do the same things that I like, except there's like ribbons around the leg that I liked as well. The only difference is that she doesn't say bang, and that means it's slightly below. In this one, in Axis, she says like yeah, haha, which isn't as good as bang, and also I don't think it's a little bit too quick for mine. I might like put it like here. I think here's a good spot for that one. I do like how she like pulls the bow and then puts a glove on. I think that's pretty good too, though. Oh, and then controversial. Chris's from the latest season from Exiv. It's fine. It's probably the worst one of Exiv. It's just a little bit too much of a focus on the body. Camera's a little bit close. I think they play it fast a couple of times in the show as well. Once we get out of that really close to the body cam and give her a little bit of space, it's extremely good. I believe she says bang in it as well, which is only a good thing. But just, yeah, upon, I guess, expectation versus reality, Chris's here is kind of just fine. Just fine for a transformation sequence from the latest season. Now this one, Maria from G. And there'll be a pretty clear delineation here, considering, like, some of these are going to be, like, her with Gungnir, and some of these are going to be, like, her, like, with Agathalam, because she kind of changes over relics somewhere there. But yeah, this one here, paired with its moment in the show, very, very good, right? Just kind of the reveal that, oh shit, I'm a Symphogear, and the reveal that we are Fine, and yeah, that whole sequence in G, that first episode of G, fucking good. It's very, very good. Now next, I'm struggling to place you. What is the difference between you two? One where she has a cape on and one when she doesn't? We're going to imagine that they're very similar, looking at the both of them, right? And now we move on to GX, her first sequence with Agathalam. It's pretty good. It's pretty top of pretty good. She just kind of uses the little knife a little bit. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Paired with moment in the show, potentially better. But I like G's better for that anyway. Moving on to her one from Axis. That's pretty cool. Again, using that knife really well. We've got this it's kind of almost between GX and Axis. We have these like little relic fragments all over the characters, which I really enjoy. But yeah, like a thumb up. It was pretty cool. I'm not totally gassed about it, but I mean, it's cool. And then finally, a sequence from from Exiv. Yeah, it's really, really damn good. Got the rhythmic gymnastics thing going on. Again, working on those wides. Again, the animation budget obviously increased there. Boobs bursting out everywhere. What's there not to like? It's a very good sequence. Easily triple S plus tier. I have Shirabe before Kirika in my sequence, so I'll go here. Shirabe. I think it looks like really stiff. I just watched it again there. There's just something off about it. I don't know about her one in G. I think she has better sequences coming up for sure. Next, Shirabe's from GX. She's got the yo-yos going, which I like. I enjoy Shirabe's yo-yos. Her legs look a little bit stupid, but I like the part where it like straightens her hair. That's pretty good. Let's put it like here. I reckon. Right about there. Oh, her one for Axis is great. I just finished up watching it there. I'm going to say about here. No, maybe here. Let's put it here. Yeah, I think that's for the best. About here. Things I like about it. She just does non-stop yo-yo tricks, which yo-yos are just cool. And she also has one frame where she looks like she's like DJing or something that I really like as well. I shouldn't say frame, one little sequence. Yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable. I've enjoyed it every time I've seen it. And then, of course, her sequence in her sequence in Exiv has so much going for it. It's got the ice skating, figure skating, I guess, overall conceit of it. It's got the part where she like does like the bunny ears. It's got the part where she says Kiri, implying that there's again some kind of like relationship between Kirika and Shirabe or something. That's a bit weird. Sarcasm, by the way. But yeah, it's a great sequence. Yeah, easily triple S plus tier, probably slightly below Hibiki's just because I enjoy, I guess, the thud of Hibiki's a little bit more. Next, we have Kirika. Kirika's first sequence here. I mean, probably there. Again, similar problems with Shirabe's. Very, very stiff. What's the other word for it? Derpy. Especially the part at the end where she's doing like this pose and saying des. I mean, Kirika is kind of derpy anyway, so like maybe it fits. I don't know. It's fine. I'm very glad to report that her one from GX is a lot better, though. I'll probably place it here. Let's go top. She says des, des, des. Now that's just an improvement. That's 3 times the des. She kind of spins around on the pole, wait and see, of the scythe, which I really enjoy as well. There's a part where something like, I think it's on her leg, like something goes down on it, and then we hear like a very horrific cry. Definitely matching her theme, her kind of witch-like thing she has going on. Yeah, very, very enjoyable sequence for sure. Her one from Axis, nothing to write home about, I don't think. The animation, I think, is a little bit quick. There's only one death. We can't have that. And just, yeah, I've watched it just before, and could I tell you much of anything about it? There was a part where there was like a rope on the leg that was pretty cool. Other than that, it's fine. It's okay. I think I prefer the one from GX. And then, of course, in EXIV, we have Kirika and her big, dumb pole dancing part. It's obviously really good, but probably the least good one from EXIV. This basically is the EXIV tier minus Chris's one from EXIV. I think maybe, okay, listen. You, Kanade, your Secrets of Season 1, let's say it's the best one from Season 1. Because I like the moment a lot. I like that it's the only thing from Kanade we see. I like it's the first time we see a transformation sequence. That has a lot going for it in that regard, I think. Just, yeah, a bit of a surprise before the rest play out a little bit more in a rote way, I think. Now, I'm tempted to put these two here, just because they're the only two, like, feel-bad sequences of the show. But I also feel like that's a little bit unfair to their actual quality, because they do make for pretty good moments. So again, if this was a tier list for how good it makes me feel, this would be about correct. Based on moment in the show, very good sequence. Like like one of the better ones from G for sure. I do like the, like, again, it's different. It's a sequence that we're supposed to feel terrible. Where we're not supposed to be hype. And again, similarly for you, you're probably paired with a better moment, and I like your design in EXIV a lot more than the design here. Just a little bit more extravagant. Again, is this even Miku? Kinda. It's Miku enough. It's Shensho Jing, I guess. We're gonna put you like here, next to Hibiki. I think that's fitting. And then, to my knowledge, these are very, very similar sequences. The two last Carol ones. Carol's cool, so I think she goes in the very cool tier. Probably, let's say here. And then this one, I think it's just like Carol, but Elf Knight from the last season, I believe. Which again, I feel is a very similar sequence, maybe a little bit sharper. Let's put it about there, I think. So yeah, one more once over, just looking at it, making sure we're doing the right things here. I feel like this is about right. I feel like maybe this one I'm underrating a little bit. It is very good. Okay, let's do that. I think the rest is about right, though. Again, this is probably not going to look like anybody else's, like, at all. But yeah, like, again, the transformation sequences, they're very, very good on the whole. Like, see how there's none in terrible? Because there's none of them are terrible. There's a few that are just okay. That's just okay relative to the things that are really good, you know? So yeah, again, don't feel too bad if your favorite sequence is down here somewhere. Next up, I have a compilation of all the openings and the endings. I don't know why it's a Facebook thing, but sure, we're going to watch it through here just because they're all together. So yeah, if I didn't make it clear, we're doing the openings and the endings. The first opening that I'm looking at here today would have been the first opening, that being Synchro Gazer. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I think this might be the best opening. The Listen to My Song is iconic starting off the opening. I just like the song a lot. I like the melodies. I like moving into that pre-chorus part where we're just like, it's going all crazy. The chorus is really good. The visuals are great, expertly showing each of the different parts of the plot of that season. There's a part where Hibiki and Miku are separated. There's lots of flashes of Fine there. We've got Tsubasa, I guess, reconciling all of the stuff with Kanade in there as well. It just hits. It hits really well. It sets the blueprint for all the rest of the openings. Just double thumbs up. It's just really, really good. Next one here on my list, I have Meteor Light, which is the first ED. It's fine. It's pretty good. I might put it here. Let's go there. We might change things around a little bit later on. It's Chris's first song. I don't particularly like her voice here. I think it improves as the show goes on. The lyrics are very sad. I just read them then. Again, these EDs from Chris's character's perspective, and following that kind of line through the rest of the series is satisfying. So again, this is the bottom of the arc right now. This is like we feel bad. This is feel bad Chris, right? As we move further through these songs, you can almost see it in the titles. Next Destination, Rebirth Day, Futurism, which is be a big theme later on, and Lasting Song. Kind of almost mirroring Chris in Exiv in that she doesn't really have much to do, but she's just kind of reinforcing things. It's good. I forgot to talk about Meteorlight's visual elements as well, which kind of reminds me of that Madoka opening, where she's kind of just walking continuously as various imagery pops up around her. Imagery that now makes a whole lot more sense now that they've finished the show, of reaching up to the skies, lots and lots of like statues of girls, various limbs, all splayed all over the place. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Moving on now to Vitalization, which I believe is a banger song paired with a little bit of a visually inconsistent opening. I don't love the sequence at the start that's a little bit pop art-y. I don't particularly think it melds well with the part where each of the characters are shown with a portrait of whoever they are behind them, like that whoever, I guess, possessed their relic. I think that was the implication. Yeah, it has ebbs and flows because I think after the part where the chorus hits is really quite good. But yeah, not especially top tier Vitalization. The banger song for sure. But even then, there's the part in the pre chorus where it kind of breaks down a little bit, which I'm less fond of. I don't know, weird one. Funnily enough, Chris's Next Destination, very similar to Vitalization in that I feel like the visual elements aren't keeping up with how good the song is. It's got one of the best lead-ins for an ED of any of the EDs for sure, which is a big part of the show. Kind of that ED leading up to a big reveal into cliffhangering you into watching another episode. That's a big part of what we're doing here. I just don't like the kind of silhouettes that we have going on a whole bunch, right? It kind of starts with the waveforms as well, which is fine. It's probably the better part there. But this paired with again a better visual element would be a lot higher. These two are again two songs which I think need some better visuals. Now, Exterminate, which is the opening for GX. If you like watching characters fight, it's pretty good. That's not especially my favorite parts of the openings every single time. Again, it's got auto scorers in it. I am fond of the auto scorers. I think, I just think it gets a little bit uninspired in the part in the middle where we're just kind of fighting noise. I don't know. Hibiki punches them a bunch. We see kind of Mario using Argathalam. It's fine. The starting portion is probably the most unique, where it starts a cappella and then the instrumental comes in a little bit later. We get a good look at Dineslave, which I believe is the sword, as well as kind of the mob after Carol's father as well, which is pretty cool. Explodes into fire, which is again connotations. I don't know. It's fine. The song itself probably not as good as Vitalization, so I don't know. It's fine. It's pretty good. Rebirth Day, the ED for Season 3, GX. It has a decent lead in. I think the visuals are similarly uninspired to Next Destinations, but with a less good song, in my opinion. Lyrically, again, strong, following Chris's sentiments in this part of the story, for sure. Again, probably something I didn't really talk with Next Destination about in as much detail. Again, using this theme of future constantly with Chris. But yeah, no, it's pretty good. I wouldn't write home about it, though. The sequence where they're all kind of mirrored in different directions is kind of like, I don't know. And then ending on that kind of reflected shot on the water. It's fine. It's just fine. Now, Testament. Banger. What's not to like here? I can't think of a thing. I really can't. I like the countdown a lot. The countdown leading in, I like that almost happens a second time instrumentally in the middle of the opening before heading into that chorus. Also in the pre-chorus, we have like almost a marching band part, which I really enjoy as well, as the villains kind of get revealed in the opening. I love the start of the opening. Again, the countdown's really cool, but into this not transformation sequence, into this montage sequence showing a bunch of training. And various ways that the characters are training. A particular shout out to Mario training with Ogawa and him using like his clone shit. I just think it's appropriately ridiculous. You see Sanjaman and co just living their best lives, fighting hard. I love Praladi's big, dumb, stupid hammer. I like, again, Cagliostro looking fabulous as well. There's lots to love there. Again, I think it's double S tier. I think it's right up there with Synchro Gazer. Futurism, the ED for season 4. I believe it's here. I like how it starts really low and gets to a great climax by the end of that ED as well. I love this. It's almost like a greenhouse that again Chris is like sitting in. I don't love the silhouettes. I've been through that, but she's like sitting in this greenhouse, walking through, leaving growth where she stands. Ending on a big old rose, obvious Chris growth metaphor, looking towards the future, looking for a moment that she can look back on everything and be happy about what has happened, longing for that moment, wanting to see that moment. Very strong lyrically, I think. And I think that this is the best Chris's VA, her voice has sounded on an ED for sure. Just, yeah, a really, really strong and powerful melody in that chorus that I really enjoy. So yeah, shoutouts to Futurism. Next up, we have Metanoia, which is Season 5's OP. Probably here. I believe it is here. It's a very different one. It starts with a little bit more of a different instrumental style, a little bit more rock, a little bit more guitar-driven there. It takes a while to get started with the whole Symphogear going across the screen, as well as that shot of Maria Serena and then the title. I think if we jumped into that a little bit quicker, it could be cool. I like the part where we're pairing off certain characters with their villain. So we'll see Vanessa with Miku, Chris, and Hibiki. We'll see Maria and Tsubasa with Milak, and we'll see Elsa with Kirika and Shirabe, kind of again talking to those pairings we see in the end of Exiv. We then see a shot of character and then shot of character important to said character. We're showing a lot of characters on screen and making inferences between characters. That's a lot of kind of the middle portion of the ED, of the OP, I should say, excuse me. I think the action is less good than the action in Testament towards the end as well. And the song's just kind of there. But it's good. It's still like Nana Mizuki singing her heart out, so like, it can't be that bad. I do like the part where like Noble Red have like stands though too. I think that's pretty good. And then we have Lasting Song, which is the ED from the latest season from Exiv. I'm gonna put it like here. I think it's just fine. I don't love it visually. I think it's a little bit slow. I believe there are stronger ED songs for this one. I do like the part at the end lyrically, and I do like the part at the end where they're all looking up into like that galaxy, almost mirroring the end of the show with that whole Seven conundrum, figuring out what happens in the universe and all that kind of jazz. Again, I think it's just fine. And then yeah, as I've said before, I don't think I'm lyrically good enough with the songs. I know the title's good enough, and I haven't listened to them enough to give you a genuine opinion on other ones of these songs. So I guess we could like screenshot that now. That's OPED. But if I was to rate some other songs that are just jumping out at me, like obviously, Stroganoff song number 1, Glorious Break and Final Commander are both also S tier. They're fantastic. Their moments in the show are fantastic. Where else is it? It plays enough that I'm able to rate it wherever it is. Gyako no Flugel. Another great song. And obviously, I don't know which ones they are, but wherever like there's a song where Kirika and Shirabe sing together, but it's like they're separate songs, but when combined, it makes a new other song. That would be above all of these. That is the musical moment of the series every single time it happens. So yeah, I'm sure I'm missing some very obvious ones here. Like, again, just off the top of my head, I really enjoy all the concert songs. So Tsubasa and Mario when they do those, or again, Tsubasa and Kanade up here. I don't know what version this is, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I've only ever seen that XDU opening once as well. So, like, I can't really rate it. Anyway, that's kind of it. That's just a few songs that I wanted to particularly shout out. I haven't heard Unlimited Beat, but I feel like I know Unlimited Beat. Let's put it there too. Sure. And yeah, anyone where it's like a Nana Mizuki insert song in the middle of the show. It's really damn good. So moving swiftly on from that one, we have the big one. We have the character tier list. And this one's probably going to take the most time if I had to guess, because this is where I'm going to be talking about specific character arcs and what I like about characters and what they provide to the plot and that kind of thing. So let's get one thing out of the way first. So these tiers are a little bit more my speed. We have I Hate You. We have Ver tier. I wonder who's going to go there. We have Fine, not Fine, much to popular opinion. Pretty cool for what you are. I think this is where a lot of characters will end up, if I'm honest. Love them, and then I would literally die for you as the highest tier there. Now, first up, we have Adam. I think Adam goes in the Ver tier, which is a little bit weird because Ver's not in there yet, but I can assure you that he will be. Now, what is the Ver tier? The Ver tier is that I kind of hate you, but you're kind of glorious enough that I don't really care, right? You're silly. You know what you are, and you're not trying to fool anybody into not what you are, if that makes any sense. You do your job. Adam in particular, one of the stars of the fourth season there in Axis. I don't think the climax would be as good without him getting shit on as much as he does. He also has nukes in his hands, which is really cool. He can like shoot nukes or whatever. I remember he like turned a bunch of shit into gold. Again, alchemy moment. I like the telephones a lot. He has random old-timey telephones around the place that he uses to communicate with people. We learn later in the series that he's kind of been behind a lot of everything the entire time, which is weird. He wears a stupid hat. He's ripped as fuck. He's a little bit of a lolicon. Listen. He could be like here. But I think it's funnier to put him in the Ver tier, right? And again, this isn't exactly like, doesn't mean that a Fine character is inherently better than a character here. I'll say that, right? It's kind of more characterization than anything else. I'll say that these three or four, the first four here, they're pretty much like, again, hierarchical, but these other ones are kind of meme categories. Like for example, I'm gonna put you here because I hate you. I hate Fudo. Fudo sucks. Fudo's mean to Tsubasa, who I'll talk about next. Fudo has just been a raging xenophobic asshole for ages, and he's gets his just desserts in the end, but not even in a way that I really like. He doesn't end up dying. He does get a little bit better in that episode 9, almost Ver tier-esque, where he's having a lot more fun with it, but before that, he's just kind of like an evil guy behind closed doors, pulling all the strings, making everybody feel terrible. And we hate that. We hate when people feel terrible. So yeah, he's also one of the worst dads in the series as well. I see another bad dad coming up soon too, but we'll get to him. Tsubasa. Tsubasa is the next character we're going to talk about here. I love Tsubasa. Tsubasa's the best. Well, she's not the best, but we'll get to the best. So Tsubasa's thing throughout a lot of the series has been, I guess, this idea of a sword. This idea of being one thing but being able to do different things as well. Being so devoted to your job and not realizing everything else going on around you. Kind of mirrors her characterization in the series, that is somebody that's a little bit aloof and kind of dumb when it comes to social cues and that kind of thing, and needs somebody like a Maria to keep her in place there. So I like her comedically from that perspective. I love her journey up until season 5. I reckon we do a little bit much in season 5, if that makes any sense, right? We do like her again, her same almost arc again in that similar way. But this time she goes even lower, right? Like there's another concert where things go bad, and I guess this time we're showing that she has the support network around her to pull her out of this stupor a little bit quicker. But then there's also a dumb like brainwashing plot as well. I don't know, it's all just kind of like fine. But the rest of her in the show is quite good. I actually am rewatching season 1 at the moment, and I'm really liking her arc there. Again, coming off as pretty standoffish initially, and eventually becoming somebody that's, again, pretty cool. We like Tsubasa a lot. Now, a character that we don't like a lot is Top Dad, or again, I'm sure he's going to Hibiki's dad. Like, I mean, no, but yeah, probably about there. One of the most underdeveloped characters in the entire series, for mine. And even when he's trying to do good, he'll often just get distracted and continue to be annoying. Yeah, we don't like Top Dad. Top Dad sucks. Top Dad, again, recap for people that don't know, just kind of abandoned Hibiki and her family in one of the most important moments to them, one of the saddest moments of them, of their time. Just couldn't take the pressure there. And then comes back and expects to be welcomed with open arms. And I'm like, no, you don't get to do that. And then we kind of make them do that in the end, in something that I would say is probably one of the most underwritten things in the entire show. So yeah, Top Dad sucks. We don't like Top Dad. Now, who we do like is Genjiro. I'd literally die for Genjiro. He's just Dad. We love Dad. Dad likes action movies. Dad yells random things from the bridge a lot. Dad clearly cares for, again, his sister, half sister. What's going on here again? They have the same dad. Isn't that the idea? I don't know, man. It's weird. The reveal that we think it's Uncle Genjiro, but it's actually like brother. That's a bit weird too. Thanks, Fudo. You're a weirdo. But yeah, he kind of shines in that episode 9 of Exiv, really helping to get Tsubasa out of that stupor. One of his best scenes. He's good for a gag. He's good for a joke. I actually really like his relationship with Ryoko as well from season 1. I think that's pretty strong. That's one of the stronger parts there. Yeah, he's around a lot. He's just a good time. The show would be less without a Genjiro in it. As well as Elf9. I've come to really enjoy Elf9 over the journey. She starts off as very quiet. She starts off as very reserved and almost a little bit annoyingly cutesy. But once she starts to find her feet, once she gets integrated into the group a little bit more, all of her stuff in Exiv is fantastic towards the climax, with the whole Carol situation and reconciling that. She needs a day off for sure. She definitely works too hard there. But yeah, Elf9's cool. I like making jokes about Elf9. Elf9 tripping over is funny. What else do I like about Elf9? She's cool on the bridge. She comes up with some cool technology. Her weird dream thing where we go and fight Ver for the FIS goals. That was funny. There was candles in that scene or something that was silly. Yeah. We like Elf9. Now Mum's fine. Mum's just okay. Actually, for one specific scene, she's here. The part where she kind of justifies beating her kids or whatever. And again, we've been into the logistics there. I'm trying to remember the specific stuff where she's we have to keep trying to experiment on these kids to make use of them, otherwise they'll be discarded, from a Maria flashback. And then we're thanking her for that in the end, even though she was hurt by this. It's okay to beat kids if you feel bad about it. It's okay to be an abuser if you feel bad about it. I don't know. Not a great part there. But the rest of it, she's kind of this weird counterpart to Ver in the second season before she gets fucking tossed into space. I love her. She shows up way more than you'd think she would show up for a dead character as well once she dies. Yeah, I mean, I buy the relationship between her and the FIS girls. I'm not sure it's great all the time. She's not that enjoyable of an on-screen presence. I don't think she even cracks a joke once, maybe. I do not know. Mum's fine. Now, who isn't fine is Carol, and Carol's just going to be put next to Elf9. They're in tandem, right? Because a lot of Carol's brilliance comes from Elf9, and a lot of Elf9's brilliance comes from Carol. Again, if you are uninitiated, they're essentially, well, not the same character, but two sides of a similar coin. Again, it got pretty convoluted there. Carol is one of the most powerful alchemists in the world. She's existed for a long time, since time immemorial. I do like her backstory with her father a lot. I like how it comes back in the climax of the last season as well. I think she has a believable reason for shunning away people during the events of GX and not accepting Hibiki's hand. And most of all, she's just cool. She commands the auto scorers. She's got a cool chateau castle thing. She has a harp. Harps are cool. And of course, she has her badass moment in season 5, which I continue to talk about basically all the time, because I think it's one of the best parts of that season, which is saying a lot. Now, Kirika. Kirika. I'd struggle to say that I love Kirika. Is Kirika pretty good for what she is? Maybe that's a little bit harsh. I think maybe she'll end up the top of this tier. Because again, all of the main characters are great. They're the ones that get the most development and all of that. You are so intrinsically tied to Shirabe as well, that it's kind of yeah, you guys are besties or whatever. No, but so much of her character is tied to Shirabe, so much of Shirabe's character is tied to Kirika, right? And how they're going to make it up to each other. I think the best part written-wise for the two characters is in G, when they're at their most important, is figuring out this whole Fine thing, who was Fine, who had Fine inside of them the whole time. It got a little bit convoluted for myself, but in retrospect, it's quite well written. Just again, continually being selfless for each other. She ends up being relegated a lot to being the dumb one later in the season, and she has good jokes and she makes me laugh. Her Des thing may get on some people's nerves. It never got on my nerves in particular, but you know, she's funny. She's a bit of a doofus. She's not particularly smart. Um, again. I'm just gonna chuck you here because it's you guys are basically in tandem. I probably like Shirabe slightly more. Just I think she has a better gear design, but even though the scythe is cool, I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, those are probably where those two characters will sit for me. I do like this relationship too. I like Shirabe Tsubasa stuff. I think that's pretty strong. I like following your story through Axis, where we're finding out about your past. Kind of, I thought that was pretty interesting. But I think you have the superior voice performance. I don't know. Yeah, you guys are in tandem. Put them next to each other. They're basically the same. Next up, we have Serena. Serena's fine for what she is. Well, fine. Well, pretty cool for what you are. For what she is, she's pretty cool. Like again, she's a character that dies. She's I guess, Kanade reflection, right? A character from Maria's past, similar to a character from Tsubasa's past, that has influenced them positively. One being a familial connection, the other one being, again, like they're like a duet or whatever. Again, I'm rambling, but Serena hardly even has that many scenes. She's kind of just in the background. I think her design's pretty cool. I think when she uses a Gartalum, that's pretty cool. I like her self-sacrifice during the FIS section. I think the cold open that she features in G is one of the strongest parts of the series as well. Yeah, pretty cool. Serena's pretty cool. My queen. There we go. There we go. Her rightful place. Hello, Gary. Gary's the best. Gary's a little fucking gremlin. I think Gary's one of the best animated characters in the show. I think she has an amazing voice performance to pair with it. She's evil as fuck, but she's loving it. and not in like a ver tier kind of way. Like I love her. I wish she was in the show so much more. Yeah. Every scene that Gary is in is one of the best scenes in the show. Every scene that doesn't have Gary in it, all the other characters should be asking, where is Gary? That's about where my opinion is for her. Next up, we have Farah. Farah's fine. She's okay as a Roy scorer. I think the strongest scene that she's in, and the one I remember the most, would be the stuff with Tsubasa and Maria at the concert. Probably better than Mom. She gets a little bit mental sometimes, but not in like a fun way. I think she goes a little bit psycho. The reveal of her like having doll-like features and the first autoscorer being revealed that way almost was a pretty cool moment. Like figuring out what the hell is going on here with the autoscorers. Thought that was cool. But other than that, again, she's just kind of there. I think I'll pair you with you. You guys are just kind of fine. Well, again, that's harsh. Fine is still good, I think. Like we're getting into bad characters down here. You're still like top of like good. I mean, comparing you directly with Mika, Mika, we can go like, yeah, pretty cool for what you are. Mika's fucking psycho, but like I think in a less controlled way than Gary, right? And Gary and Mika are often paired a lot too. Lots of kissing and whatever the hell going on there. Mika's very strong. I like her kind of creepy cute design. The hands do a lot, especially the part with the hands during the climax of Exiv, or a little bit more before the climax, kind of episode 7 or so. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Again, design's good. You have pretty good utility in the plot. You're just not Gary. That's your only problem, basically. Ooh, got two heavy hitter characters coming up next. Now, Chris. Oh, Chris. We're gonna put Chris here. They're gonna put Chris here. Chris has one of the most satisfying arcs in the show, for sure. A lot of characters follow a similar arc of a villain turned good. It's one of Symphogear's best cards. It's one that it plays quite often. But I think the original is better than any of the sequels. And Chris is the first character that's evil that turns good. And again, following the journey of what happened to her, what made her this way, her explicit ties to music, her explicit ties to themes of growing up, to looking to the future, to growing out of whatever she's in now into the character that she is now, able to pass on that knowledge by the end of the show to other characters, teach them the lessons that she has taught or been taught herself. Great. She's also a big old tsundere, so moment to moment, she's fantastic because I like tsunderes. She's got a cool fighting style. She says "bang" a lot. We like "bang." She's an absolute star in the extras in the OVAs as well. She's always really good in those. She always gives you a laugh. The only problem with her is that she's called Christian, and whenever we say that, it makes me think things, and I don't want to think those things. That's the only real problem. Yeah, I would literally die for Chris, for Yukine Chris, for sure. In a similar vein, we have Mario. Now again, very similar. Villain turned hero by the end, right? Mario's got a very interesting arc throughout everything as well, learning to be strong in her own way, learning to lead, learning to steel oneself, right? Learning to believe in oneself, have that confidence. I'm thinking a lot of G. I'm thinking towards the end there. I think like leading the song that eventually leads to the saving the world there, to keeping the moon in the sky. I think that's fucking awesome. A lot of the stuff we do with her baggage around mom, a lot of the stuff we do with Sarina with her as well. It's very great. We reflect that relationship with Tsubasa a lot as well. But she just has a lot of utility. I think moment to moment, she's the mom of the group. She's the serious one. She's the one that, I guess, keeps all the ragtag group of characters that are a little bit silly under control. And we love her for that, right? She's mom. If Genjiro's dad, Mario's mom, right? Not mom, but mom, you know? She's just great. We love Mario. We love her on screen. She has one of the best VAs in the show, one of the best singing voices in the show as well. Really stars in those concert scenes with Tsubasa again. Even some of her stuff with Hibiki's great, along the Gungnir storyline as well. Yeah. Good stuff, everybody. Now this is weird as well. We have Ryoko and we have Fine here, so we're gonna put them next to each other. Wherever they end up going, I think we're gonna end up here. Maybe. Pretty cool for what you are. Yeah. Maybe you're a bit higher. I just like Ryoko's design a little bit more than Fine's design, right? Even though, again, we never really meet the real Ryoko, is my read of things, right? So Ryoko is Fine. You are the inventor of Symphogears. You also had some ties to alchemy as well, as we learn throughout the series. You're basically responsible. You're the inciting incident for what the show has going on to happen. I think you're great in that you're very comedic and all over the girls and have great design and a great voice performance and stuff. And you're great in a different way in that you're opulent and villainous, and we see a lot of you with you early in the show as well. And again, like those scenes have connotations. But I still think they're cool. I think they're and you get some nice redemptive stuff towards the end of season 2 as well. Not including even the stuff in Exiv, which is great as well with you and Enki. I think that's great. Yeah, thumb up for Fine/Ryoko. Good characters. Next we have Ogawa. And Ogawa is just so cool, it hurts. He's the coolest guy. He's a stupid ninja that does broken shit all the time. In a world of people in super suits doing stupid bullshit basically the entire show, he somehow stands out as being the fucking coolest guy. He's just so cool. I like his weird storylines with both Tsubasa and Mario, respectively. Teaching like Mario to be a secret agent at points, looking after Tsubasa's career at certain points in the show as well, making sure that that operates the way it should. He's like a secret agent as well as being like a like a agent for a client as well in Tsubasa and getting her work. Yeah, Ogawa's great. Particularly like the part in G where he runs on water, which is like, what the fuck? The part where he reveals that he has like shadow clone powers, and the part where he's like random other brothers are revealed at the end of the show as well, just as, icing on the cake. Yeah, Ogawa's fantastic. Next up, we have Sanjaman. Now, Sanjaman, I think I ended up liking Sanjaman a lot. Again, I have a thing for villain characters turned good. Sanjaman's just so damn likable, so damn forthright in her opinions, so damn honorable, noble, that it's very, very hard to dislike her. I think, again, Adam has a huge influence on her ending up being a villain. and kind of the process of figuring out that he's fucking evil is great. I think you lost sight of the means to an end, if that makes any sense. You killed a fucking lot of people, but you still felt every single kill there, again, in an attempt to create a perfect world, bringing forth that alchemy theme of perfectness. I like how nice you are to your friends in Prelati and Cagliostro. I think you fight in a really cool way. I really like your design when you kind of transform there as well. Again, a lot to like about Sancho. Now, Hibiki. I think it's very rude not to put Hibiki here. She's kind of the central conceit of the show. Symphogear wouldn't be Symphogear without Hibiki. Um, she's glorious every single moment she's on screen. Again, one of the best voice performances in the show. Some of the best yells, some of the best screams, some of the best songs. She's a little fucking punch hamster. She'll never stop believing. She has the most protagonist energy out of any character I've almost ever seen. Like, she's just good. I think we get the parts where Hibiki struggles. I think are in the parts where we follow, I guess, a kind of rote storyline in which she kind of learns the same lesson over and over again about, again, the difference between holding hands and closing fist, and how do we reconcile the need to save people and the need to sometimes take violent action against people to stop them from hurting other people. Like, I think she does that lesson like 2 or 3 times throughout the show, which I think is at least one too many. I think she's funny moment to moment. She's just a joy on screen, often paired with you. Again, I think it's rude to separate these characters, just for legal reasons. But probably you like here somewhere, maybe here. We like Miku. Miku's like the sweetest little button in the world. She goes through, I think, a similar arc throughout a lot of the seasons, which is, I guess, failure to understand Hibiki or Hibiki to explain things to her, and that causing grief, right? Again, that's kind of like a mirroring between season 1 and season 5 almost. But yeah, again, moment to moment, Miku's great. I love how hopelessly in love she is with Hibiki. I love all the little home scenes that they have together. The scenes where they're washing up. The scenes where um, they're sleeping in the same like bunk bed together. Like, there's just lots of good content there. I guess we could also talk about, again, her transformation in season 2 and her transformation in season 5. Season 5's like almost not being her fault in a way, but seasons 2 coming from, again, a place of angst with Hibiki. And a lot of your content in the show is tied to Hibiki intrinsically. I do think your kind of transformation sequence forms there are pretty cool. Special shout outs to the one where you're paired with you, right? Again, this is a rude pairing. Don't put these two characters together. That's bad. But either way, Miku's great. Love Miku. Put her in there. Now, I don't know why I have 2 blue friends, but I have 2 blue friends. I think we're only going to use 1 blue friend. Blue friend. Her name's Blue Friend. I kind of love her. Let's be real. There's the one part in the extra very recently where she kind of implied some stuff about like having a failed last relationship or something, which I thought was weird. But yeah, Blue Friend's great. I do like how like they share coffees with Elf9 and the other guy. Hello, other guy. Yeah, let's just do that now. You're no Blue Friend. You'll never be close to Blue Friend. I think you're better than Mum though. Yeah, let's do something like that. Yeah, she just maybe here. Yeah, maybe like here. You're great for what you are, right? You're not in the show much, like at all, really, but you provide a lot when you're there. Pretty good for what you are, I think. Now, again, I feel like I've explained my position here pretty well. Something like that, I think. No, I prefer Adam to Ver. Adam's a little bit more ridiculous. I think Ver loses points a lot for the parts where he's just like winning for no reason, right? Where nobody picks up on his bullshit, where Maria and the FIS girls in Toa are just kind of hopelessly convinced by this bloke at every single point. It's kind of like, come on, man. He's like an evil scientist dude. He's probably going to be bad. I do like how unassuming he's revealed as well. Like, in the start of the show, he's just like a guy that we're saving on a train, when in reality we should have just pushed him off that train. A big meme through me watching the show has been me constantly berating Ver. and calling him the worst, so it must be surprising to not see him here. But funnily enough, there are two characters worse. Potentially more? Looking along things, probably not. Kanade. Kanade's a weird one. Kanade's kind of not in the show, because she dies in the first episode. Spoilers, by the way. Um, but yeah, like, we got a lot of her characterization through flashback. And again, her importance in the plot is relative to her closeness to Tsubasa. As a springboard for you to jump off of, there's even some stuff implied in the comments between, like you still harboring some feelings about that whole situation, being Hibiki, finally moving on from that by the very end of things. Again, there was an implication there for sure. I I like her outfits a lot. That's a weird thing to say, but I do. Just very summary. I'll say she goes through a very short arc through a flashback sequence through the middle of the show. That is like, again, like, fine. I don't know. I'm struggling. Probably here. We're gonna say here. You're pretty cool for what you are. You have some great scenes. I like whenever you visit Tsubasa in, like, the water realm place. I think that's pretty good. And yeah, like, that's basically my thoughts there. Next up, Yatsuhiro, or as I like to call him, Tsubasa's fake dad. Tsubasa's fake dad. Where are we putting you? You had a very good last season. I'll say that right now. You had a very, very good last season. But before that, I just could not give less of a shit about this guy. So again, we're gonna hit a, like, happy medium, right? Like, I think he's a bad dad, kinda, but he redeems himself to being a good dad by the end. Tsubasa definitely has some angst there before learning about all the stuff that he's done for her in separating her from this whole family system, where again, you're main patriarch and you're destroying things basically. Like, getting her out of that and letting her find her own way outside of the family. It may look harsh initially, but when revealed with a little bit more context, there's some stuff there. I just think moment to moment you're a little bit boring, but again, you have some great. You basically facilitate the finale. You're very important from that perspective, I think. Okay, let's do this as well. We're gonna put you guys together. I love them. I love them. Put it this way, I love them. But they're not in it enough. They're honestly not even characters. I could not tell you a thing about you, like, at all. You like anime, and it's one of the weirdest jokes from season 1 for sure. You have a weird thing where you, like, nickname characters random stuff. I think you're, like, the best one, obviously. You have the most, like, screen time. You guys have a song about beef stroganoff that is an absolute hit, worldwide Billboard #1 everywhere. But other than that, listen, I think you guys are funny. I think it's a cool meme to put you guys here, even if I don't fully believe that you're a better character than, say, Kiriko and Shirabe. I'm gonna leave you here regardless. If you're gonna say, like, the Stroganoff trio, if I loved them, I love them. I love them very, very much. A character I don't like very much at all is Tiki. Tiki may be the worst character in the show. She's fucking annoying. She's annoying as shit. She's hopelessly in love with this, like, cornball Reddit loser. I don't know, man. I thought her design being kind of similar to Hibiki was interesting for a minute. She's easily the worst auto scorer. Sure. I don't know what much else I have to say about Tiki. She kind of saved the day in the end there in, like, the second to last episode in Axis. But other than that, not a lot going for Tiki. Sorry, any Tiki enjoyers. Next up, we have Shemha. And Shemha is going to be here. Here. Pretty cool for what she is. So Shemha is kind of been the base problem of everything. She kind of caused everything to fuck up based on, like, her, like, prehistoric actions. Right? And kind of unraveling that story and how it relates to you as well is one of the coolest parts of the last season for sure. Two fantastic designs between these two characters as well. Just yeah, pure evil versus pure good is how I'm reading this. Their fight sequence at the start of episode 11 is great. I do like you when you're gloriously evil when you're in the Miku form as well. It works as a great, like, gut punch moment for the rest of the show, for kind of having that investment so far. Yeah, it's cool. It's very, very cool. Next up, we have Elsa. Elsa's just kind of fine. She doesn't really get much to do. She kind of reflects a lot of Noble Red's aspirations and learnings during the end of the show. Other than that, her like tail type fighting style is kind of like fucking weird. She rides around on a suitcase, which I find kind of funny. She's pretty good in relation to the boob person that's in her little thumbnail here, that being Vanessa. But other than that, in isolation, just kind of fine. Like I don't really even love her design that much. She's just kind of there. Now Vanessa. Maybe here. I reckon we're gonna put Vanessa here. She's very good, but I don't think. Maybe it's a bit harsh. Maybe here. Let's go here. I think. Would I call you a better character than Shemha? Not really. I don't think you're as good as the villain. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we're going to put her there. You're like the mom, you're the Mario reflector of Noble Red. I do like the part where you go bing bong. I think that's pretty good. Again, you have a lot of the baggage of Noble Red attached to you. I like your backstory a lot. I like your overall motivation and how it taps into the moral of Exiv as well. I like your final heroic actions towards the end of Exiv as well. I do think it's very quick. I do think that Noble Red could use with a few rewrites in a couple of places. I do think their attachment to Fudo is fucking strange. I don't know. I don't know. Like Noble Red could use with a little bit more characterization basically across the board. But again, like I think her design's cool. She's got like a weird like robot thing going on. I don't know. I think I'm going to put her there. Very bottom of pretty good for you are. Now, Millark. What are we going to do with you? Now, I think you easily have the best design out of Noble Red, but you're also the most evil. I think he is fine. I think your design puts you over the top of Vanessa, but not much further because you're very limited. You kind of don't even have an arc. You're very, very mean to Tsubasa, which I don't like. You try to brainwash people. You're mean to Tsubasa and Elf9, who are, again, two people that we don't be mean to, ever. Please don't be mean to them. But yeah, like Millark, yeah, the design's great. I like the vampness of it, and even the seal invasion power has a great like effect to it. Yeah, we'll keep her there for now. Now Cagliostro and Prelati. Where are we going to put you two? Probably here, I believe. Probably Cagliostro slightly higher than Prelati, just because I don't think that you have as much to do in the show. I do like the scene where you kind of figure things out. I think that's a pretty good scene. I like a lot of the connotations that Cagliostro has as well about transgender and transitioning and that kind of thing, and wanting to find that perfect body and being able to do it through this system. Again, a subtext of basically all of they have a name, Sanjaman's crew. I'm forgetting it right now. The Bavarian Illuminati, I guess we're calling them that. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I do like finding power in a different body that's more suited to the body that you have now. I think that's powerful. I think that's a good theme. I think you're very sexual, very, very sexual to a questionable level at certain points. But also that's kind of Vertier in its brilliance, right? That's that good stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave you there. You're pretty good for what you are. I like scenes that have Cagliostro in them, and Prelati has a big dumb Kendama hammer, which is also really good. Again, I just wish she had more to do. And again, that's a Symphogear pacing problem, I think, more than anything else. Next up, we have Carol's dad, who has a Bloodborne cosplay on. He's kind of not even in the show. Let's put him like here. Or here. Here. Let's put him here. He's good for what he is. He seems like a good dad. He likes Bloodborne on the PS4, so we can appreciate that in a character as well. But other than that, not much to write home about, I don't think. You're the guy that eats noodles. I like your joke where you eat noodles. I guess I'll put you like here again. But other than that, don't have much to say. He's pretty funny. He eats noodles. Next up, we have Sonia. Sonia can go here, along with Stefan. Even though Stefan's pretty annoying. Oh no, like maybe here. Yeah. You guys exist for character development for Chris. I don't think that you guys have much utility or importance outside of that. I think that this little storyline is, again, very quick, probably a little bit underwritten. Again, I do like the lessons that Sonia and Chris learn and how they reflect each other. I think that's strongly written, but Will I put her higher than any of these other characters? Probably not. She just has a small scene in the beginning of Axis and a small scene by the end. Yeah, and both those scenes are very good for you, right? And you learn some things as well over the journey, and you fucking break your leg and get better, and are going to be like the next Ronaldo. But other than that, like, I don't know. There's not much else to it, I don't think. And then randomly enough, our last two characters are fucking Ogawa's fucking brothers. Now, if I was rating it as a moment, it's here. Like, it's one of the funniest, best, stupidest moments in the entire series that these two guys show up at literally the 11th hour and save the world. And we've never seen them before. That's hilarious. But in actuality, like, what are we doing, man? You guys, again, you're hardly in it. You're afterthoughts, right? I think you guys are endlessly cool, though. Just know that I think you guys are cool, and it's a cool moment. But I just cannot put you like you guys like have like one line of dialogue and like two lines of dialogue. I cannot put you with a good conscience over a character like fucking Vanessa, right? So yeah, let me maybe fix up this because my last two characters here are repeats. I don't know why I have Tiki twice. I could put two Tikis there, maybe. It's a bit stupid. I think I need to reorder this top a little bit. We'll see. Probably just that. That would be the only move, I think. And then I probably need to move you guys for like a meme because I'm moving you guys for a meme. I don't know. Just know that these three characters have like meme status. Maybe I add a tier. Hang on. There we go. That's better. New tier in the middle. Love them, but it's kind of a meme. There you go. For the meme characters, they could sit there. So yeah, again, I'm going to be posting images for all of these on Discord eventually, so don't worry about screenshotting any of this too hard. But the final one I'll do is the Symphogear season tier list. Let's change these a little bit to the point where I guess I'll only really need two tiers. It's again going to be more of a ranking than anything else, right? Great and super ultra. If I can type, great. There we go. Yeah, because there's two modes that Symphogear has. It's great or it's super ultra great. And again, it's weird, right? A lot of the seasons and splitting them is splitting hairs. Symphogear is so quick and so much goes on that it's very, very hard to differentiate into seasons rather than differentiating it into sections of the story where cool things happen, right? I could think of certain sections in this season which aren't great. The middle of it's not very good at all. I think it's one of the worst parts of the show. But then the end is so far up here that it's probably the best season still, right? And that's probably applicable across all of these seasons, right? They all have their lull moments and they all have their really good moments, right? So the first season. Let's take the first season, right? You started it all. You have some of the worst animation in the show. To a distracting level sometimes. There's a particular part with a car that I still find funny from season one. One of the first shots of the show that I would not use again is that stupid bus. God, that bus looks terrible. But also, you introduce all of the concepts and have such a firm grasp of things that lead over to here as well. It's fucking super cool. I think you have the best reveal of each of the seasons, right? The Fine reveal is spectacular, and everything that's like going on there, right? It rivals some of the reveals even here, you know? Like, I think you set such a high bar with your climax as well. The moment when they like revive using X Drive, we literally use X Drive to like revive characters, is so cool. It's so cool. I love the arc of Chris across the season. I love the arc of Tsubasa across the season. Even some of Hibiki's stuff's like really good. Great music across the board. I really love the OST in this season for sure. It's just really the animation quality holding it back. There's also some sus stuff regarding like BDSM, but sure. I think I'm gonna tentatively put you here. I think we'll see. We'll rank things by the end. Let's go G next. Do not ask me why I have two Gs. I do not know. One logo seemingly is smaller than the other one, but we'll use the bigger one. Now G. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion at all. I might use that one because it's a PNG. Sure, let's do that. I think G's the best season. I've come to this realization over time. I think that, again, following that FIS storyline and what's happening with Ver that entire time is a cool sequence. I think there's again great stuff all over this thing. I love how Serena impacts things. I love how Mom impacts things. I love learning about the FIS goals for the first time. I think it starts with a bang. I think that first episode, one of the best episodes in the like entire show. I think following Hibiki and Hibiki kind of getting sick through the middle of that season 2 is very, very interesting. It sets the foundations for a lot of the relationships. There's so much Kiriko Shirabe stuff in it too. Kind of the creation of that relationship, right? We're going to tentatively put it in first place. The only thing holding it back is that it has so much Ver in it. Other than that, I think that they follow everything pretty much perfectly. It's got a great climax. I love it. Everyone's singing all over the world. Love us activating X Drive in the end. I love Ver's big, dumb, stupid arm. Well, I don't, but you know what I mean? There's just a lot to like there for sure. Similarly, GX feels like the most different season. Probably there. There's probably best for you. It's the most unique season, right? Up to this point, we didn't really do alchemy, right? Alchemy is introduced with this season. It's a new power system to use. GX has Gary in it. Gary's like the best character. I think that like changing over to the alchemy stuff's cool. The part where the season really drags though is a lot of the rote episode design, where we get basically the same episode 3 or 4 times in a row, where we learn that same lesson. I think Hibiki stagnates a little bit this season in learning her overall moral for what's going on. I feel like she should have learnt it quicker, but also like Mario and Co kick ass. So like, I don't know. It's a tough one to talk about these seasons as a whole, right? Because there's so much happens that's good and bad. Maybe maneuver a couple of things. Maybe that feels better. I think. Yeah, let's do that. I definitely look back on G fondly though. Now Axis, I think Axis just gets a little bit wonky in the middle and kind of recovers by the time we get to that climax, which is pretty good. I do admire Axis for setting up a lot of stuff for Exiv as well. Like a lot of the plot points that will be leading forward with Divine Power, and a lot of the Bavarian remnants and Adam, the reveal there that he's kind of been doing a bunch of stuff the entire time. Yeah, ancillary stuff in Axis that comes back later is pretty cool. Again, I just think it kind of loses its way towards the middle. I forgot to shout out the best episode of the show, by the way, or the best intro to a season, which is episode 1 of GX, which is fantastic. I think in comparison, Axis's is too much when they're like in the jungle doing the fights. Yeah, that's a little bit a little bit much. But also, yeah, it's tough because you have some of the best moments as well. I feel like you're too low. Maybe there. But GX is great. It's so unique. God, this is hard. You could ask me tomorrow and this could change, but I think this is where we're sitting right now, and I might as well just delete this. Yeah, I think somewhere there. Like, I think that's where we're at here, right? That's how I feel about each of these seasons. Where again, you have the highest highs, but probably also the lowest lows. But I respect those high highs enough. G, I just like the content the most. I think you started it all. You're very unique, and even you have some of the best moments as well. And it's so important for lore discoveries and that kind of thing. But this season also has Gary in it, so it's better than yours. Let's leave it there. Your low lows are pretty bad. I wasn't really loving episodes 5 and 6. But your animation's so good that it kind of doesn't matter. Let's leave it there. I think I'll be talking in circles if I continue from here any longer. And I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching this far. If you've continued to do so, it's kind of just been me rambling about various stuff this entire time. I don't know. I had a good fun ranking some stuff for a while, so I hope you have fun too. I might shorten this section down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching Symphogear with me, everybody. It's been very, very fun. There will be a poll out later at some point to figure out what we'll watch next, basically. And yeah, it's free to vote in that poll, so go to the Discord and click on the link when it's up. It'll be up at some point, I think. Rightio, I'll catch you later for now, but thank you for watching my tier lists. Goodbye.